viewers and dear students, in this video I'll start with the next topic of probability distribution, which is normal distribution. I'll also discuss about standard normal distribution. Now so far we have seen discrete probability distribution. Under discrete probability distribution we have discussed about binomial distribution and Poisson distribution. In discrete probability distribution, the random variable x, it takes discrete values like 1, 2, 3 or 0, 1, 2 up to etc. Again, if we see in this Poisson distribution, we have seen that the value which k takes is 0, 1, 2 up to etc. infinity. The next kind of probability distribution is called continuous probability distribution. Here the values which the random variable take, it is not discrete, it is continuous. Say for example height, weight, etc. The values for these random variables are continuous, and such a distribution is called continuous probability distribution. And under this continuous probability distribution we will learn about normal distribution. Under this we have finding the z-score and using z-table to find values. Now we will see what is a normal distribution. A continuous random variable x is defined in terms of its probability density function f of x, also known as PDF. If we consider Poisson distribution and all, we used to have probability mass function PMF, whereas here we have probability density function. We say a continuous random variable x is designed to follow normal distribution with constant parameters mean, expectation of x, it is given by mu. Mu means it represents the mean of the distribution, and variance of x is equal to sigma square, where sigma is the standard deviation and variance is sigma square, and it is written as x follows normal mu comma sigma square. If the random variable x follows binomial distribution, we used to write x follows binomial n comma p. Here these are the parameters of the binomial distribution. If x follows Poisson distribution, we used to write x follows p lambda, since lambda is the parameter of Poisson distribution. Similarly, in normal distribution, the parameters of the normal distribution are the mean mu and the variance sigma square. So if a continuous random variable x, if it follows normal distribution with mean mu and variance sigma square, then we use this notation to say x follows normal mu comma sigma square, and its probability density function, this f of x, it is given by f of x is equal to 1 by sigma root 2 pi e raised to minus half into x minus mu upon sigma the whole square. So the probability mass function of this random variable x, which follows normal distribution with parameters mu and sigma square, is given by 1 by sigma root 2 pi e raised to minus half into x minus mu by sigma the whole square. Here f of x is always greater than or equal to 0, and here the value of x varies between minus infinity to infinity. So here the value of x lies between minus infinity to infinity, and this f of x, it is always greater than or equal to 0. And here mu, it is the mean of the distribution, and the value of mu lies between minus infinity to infinity, and sigma is greater than 0. Sigma square is called the variance, sigma will be the standard deviation. Now the mu, it is given by summation I is equal to 1 to n xi upon n. We know the mean is calculated as the sum of the observations by total number of observations. If the total number of observations is n, then the mean mu is given by summation I is equal to 1 to n xi upon n, and this sigma square is equal to 1 by n into summation I is equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar. X bar means the mean, here it is mu. Xi minus mu the whole square. Here we need sigma, so sigma will be root of this, or sigma is equal to root of 1 by n summation I is equal to 1 to n xi minus mu the whole square. So these are the notation that are being used in normal distribution. We say a random variable x follows normal with parameters mean, mu and variance sigma square, and its probability density function, it is given by f of x is equal to 1 by sigma root 2 pi e raised to minus half into x minus mu by sigma the whole square. The value of this f of x, it is always greater than or equal to 0, and this x, it lies between minus infinity and infinity. Here the value of mean, it belongs to minus open interval minus infinity infinity, and sigma is greater than 0. Sigma is the standard deviation. Now we will see some of the features of the probability curve for normal distribution. In the normal distribution given by f of x, we just now saw what was f of x. The curve known as probability curve, it is bell shaped with one peak point. So this is the most important property of the normal distribution curve. It is bell shaped and it has one point at the peak. The first feature is the mean, median and mode of the sample are exactly the same. So as far as normal distribution is concerned, its mean, median and mode are all equal. Then the bell-shaped probability curve has one peak point. It means the normal distribution has got a unique mode. Then the area below the curve has two tails extended on both the sides, and it will never touch the axis. So this curve will never touch the axis. We'll continue here. Here we can see that the line through x is equal to mu divides the normal curve into two equal parts in all aspects. So here if we see the line x is equal to mu, it divides the normal curve into two equal parts. It means the normal curve is symmetrical about x is equal to mu. So this curve is symmetrical, that is the area along this side is equal to the area along the other side, and half the values fall below the mean and half the values will fall above the mean. And in a normal distribution curve, the total area below the curve is always equal to 1. So in any probability distribution, we used to say that the sum of their probabilities is equal to 1. Here we have the probability given by f of x is equal to 1 by sigma root 2 pi e raised to minus half into x minus mu by sigma the whole square. So the probability density function of the normal distribution is given by this function, and here x varies from minus infinity to infinity. So as a result, we have integral minus infinity to infinity f of x dx is equal to 1. So this integral is equal to 1. Now we know integral minus infinity to infinity is the area under this curve, and this integral, it is equal to 1. It is always equal to 1 unit. And then the two values by which the distribution can be described are the mean and the standard deviation. Now this we already saw. If a random variable x, if it follows normal distribution, then it is given by x follows normal mu comma sigma square Now standard deviation is nothing but it is the root of this. So if we know the mean and the standard deviation, then we can describe this distribution. Now we will see what is standard normal distribution. If we want to compare, say, two different normal distribution, then we need some common term for comparison. If we have two different means mu1, mu2 and then sigma 1, sigma 2, it will be difficult to compare. So if we have some easier method, then it can be easily compared. This standard normal distribution, it is nothing but it is a normal distribution with mu is equal to 0 and sigma is equal to 1. So here we have the mean. So the normal distribution with mu is equal to 0 and sigma is equal to 1 is called standard normal distribution. So if x follows normal distribution, then we call x as a normal variate. If we have a variable z, if it follows a standard normal distribution, then we call this z as the standard normal variate, and this distribution is also called z distribution. So for comparison purposes, we use the standard normal distribution. All normal variates can be converted to standard normal distribution. So here how we can do this is, we can do it using the relation z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. So this is called the z score. So we can calculate the standard score or the z score for each data value in the normal variate to compare information, and this distribution is also called a z distribution. So for the given population, the mean mu and the standard deviation sigma, it will be given. We can convert that into z distribution using this z score. Now we will see what is z score. As I already told you, the z score can be calculated as z is equal to x minus mu by sigma, where mu is the mean of the distribution and sigma is the standard deviation of the distribution. The mean is calculated as summation I is equal to 1 to n xi by n, and the standard deviation is calculated as root of summation I is equal to 1 to n xi minus mu the whole square divided by n. So this is how we can calculate the z score. While solving problems, we will be able to understand the usefulness of normal distribution, z score, z distribution, all these. Now we will see some example questions. So here is an example question. Calculate z score for a normal distribution of length of 7 rare species of Indian butterfly that you have in your garden. So here we have 7 rare species of Indian butterfly, and their length is also given in centimeter. So we have to find the z score for each of these butterfly. So we have butterfly 1, butterfly 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. There are 7 species of butterfly with different lengths. We need to find the z score for each of these. Now the z score, it can be calculated as z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. So here we have mu is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to 7 xi by 7. So here we have to add all these to find the mean length. So the mean length is given by the sum of all these lengths, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1 plus 6 divided by total number of observations, that is 7. So this is equal to 21 by 7, which is 3. Then we will find the standard deviation sigma. Standard deviation sigma, I just now told you the formula is summation I is equal to 1 to n xi minus mu the whole square divided by n. So this is equal to root of, so these are xi's 2, 2, 3, 2, 5, 1, 6, all these are xi's and mu is 3 we just now found. So it is 2 minus 3 the whole square plus 2 minus 3 the whole square plus 3 minus 3 the whole square plus 2 minus 3 the whole square plus 5 minus 3 the whole square plus 1 minus 3 the whole square plus 6 minus 3 the whole square upon 7. So here xi is each of these values and mu is 3. So 2 minus 3 the whole square, 2 minus 3 the whole square plus 3 minus 3 the whole square plus 2 minus 3 the whole square plus 5 minus 3 the whole square, then 1 and 6. So all these upon 7. So when we simplify, square and add, we get 20 upon 7. So this is 1 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 9. So which is 20 by 7, or it is equal to root of 2.86. So approximately equal to 1.69. So the standard deviation sigma, we found it as 1.69. Now let us find the z-score. So here we have the 7 species of the butterfly and then the length of each species, and we just now found the mean as 3 and standard deviation as 1.69. So the z-score can be calculated as x minus mu by sigma. So for the first species of butterfly, the z-score is 2 minus 3 upon 1.69. Then for the second species of butterfly, it is again 2 minus 3 upon 1.69. Then for the third species, 3 minus 3 upon 1.69. Then the next one, 2 minus 3 upon 1.69. Then 5 minus 3 by 1.69. Then 1 minus 3 by 1.69 and 6 minus 3 by 1.69. So for each of these, so 2 minus mu is 3 divided by sigma is 1.69. Then for the next one, x is 2, mu is 3 divided by 1.69. Then for the next type, x is 3 minus mu is 3 divided by sigma is 1.69, and it goes on. Now we can simplify this. So this is approximately equal to minus 0.59. This is also minus 0.59. This is 0. This is approximately equal to again minus 0.59. And then this is approximately equal to 1.18. This is minus 1.18. And this is 1.78. So this is how we have to calculate the z-score if we are asked to do so. Now we will see some more information about standard normal distribution. In normal distribution, we saw the curve is symmetrical along the mean. Again here also in standard normal distribution, the data points are symmetrical along the mean. This is the mean and the data points are symmetrical along the mean. If this is the normal distribution curve, then here we will have mu, mu plus sigma, mu plus 2 sigma and mu plus 3 sigma on one side, and on the other side we will have mu minus sigma, mu minus 2 sigma and mu minus 3 sigma. Here since for standard normal distribution mu is equal to 0 and sigma is equal to 1, we will have 0, 1, 2, 3 on one side and minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 on the other side. The next point is z-score describes the position of each data point in terms of its distance from the mean when measured in standard deviation units. Again, Here what I said you just now, the same thing is repeated here. Then the z-score is positive if the data point lies above the mean and negative if it lies below the mean. So if the value of the data point is more than the mean, then z-score is positive, and if the value of the data point is less than the mean, z-score is negative. The previous example itself, if we see here the value of the data point is less than the mean, so the z-score is negative here. On the other hand, here if we see the value of the data point 5 is more than the mean, so the z-score is positive. And then here we have the 68, 95, 99.73% rule. According to this rule, there is 68.27 probability of randomly selecting a z-score between -1 and +1 standard deviations from the mean. It is nothing but now this area from -1 to +1. This area, it constitutes 68% of the data. Then it is said there is a 95.45% probability of selecting a score between -2 and +2 standard deviations from the mean. That is this area from -2 to +2. This area constitutes 95% of data. Then the next point is there is 99.73% probability of randomly selecting a score between -3 and +3 standard deviations from the mean. So this area from -3 to +3, this whole area till from -3 till +3, it constitutes 99.7% of data. This is the meaning of these points. Now here this 68.727%, it is nothing but integral mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma f of x dx. This has probability 68.27%. So the area from mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma f of x, it constitutes 68.27%, or there is 68.27% probability of selecting a z-score from -1 to 1. Now we saw f of x. It can be given using the standard normal distribution as 1 by sigma root 2 pi e raised to minus half into z square, where z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. So this is the meaning of the 68.27% probability. Similarly, we have 95.45% probability, means it constitutes integral mu minus 2 sigma to mu plus 2 sigma f of x dx. Now this area constitutes 95.45%, or there is 95.45% probability of selecting a z-score between -2 and +2 standard deviations from the mean. And here 99.73%, it corresponds to mu minus integral mu minus 3 sigma to mu plus 3 sigma f of x dx. Now we will solve some problems using z-score and how we can use the z tables and all that. Given that mean of a normal variate x is 12 and standard deviation is 4, then find z-score of data point 20. Second subdivision, the data point if z-score is 5, then the third one, data point if z-score is -2. So here it is given mu is 12 and sigma is 4. And we know z-score, it is given by z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. So the first subdivision, we need to find z when x is equal to 20. So z can be calculated as 20 minus mu by sigma. Mu is 12, sigma is 4. So it is 20 minus 12 by 4, which is 8 by 4, 2. Then the second subdivision, the data point if its z score is 5. So we need to find x given z score is 5. So using the same formula, we can substitute z as 5 and we can find x. So this implies 5 is equal to x minus 12 by 4, or from this we get x is equal to 20 plus 12, which is 32. Then the third subdivision, data point if z score is minus 2. Again similarly we can do z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. Here z is given as minus 2. From that we can find x. So from this we get x is equal to minus 8 plus 12. So it is 4. So here the mean is given and the standard deviation is given. We are asked to find the z score when the data point is given, or the data point when the z score is given. So using this formula we can find either way. When x is given we can find z score, and when z score is given we can find x using this formula.